Do women today think they are oppressed because now they are in predominantly male professions? Probably. There's probably some truth to that, such as engineering, actually more like HR, more like corporate America. There's very few women that are actually in engineering, but there are women in traditionally male gendered workspaces. And then they can't compete with men, but don't understand what the competition is. Well, here's the useful thing, Tom, is that women will always have the out of sexism, because feminism over the course of the last, since let's just say the late 60s, right? Militant feminism. I'm not going back to the suffragettes or any of that crap, okay? Because really feminism, there's no waves of feminism. There's only one feminism, and it's been the same shit. It's just been like different flavors of it over the course of like going on close to like 150, 200 years. And the militant feminism of like the late 60s and early 70s has sort of taught women that they can have it all. Remember those posters? Of course you don't. Our Bodies, Ourselves, Gloria Steinem, Betty Friedan, The Feminine Mystique. People say, well, Rollo, why are you reading this subversive shit? Well, I had to do that. When you want a story, here's a Rollo story. When I was at UNR and I was, completing my degrees, the capstone classes that I used to have to take back then. A capstone is like one class that satisfies a lot of different requirements. But you had to decide which topic and which subjects you wanted to see or to be about, right? Now, I am a father. I'm playing in a band. I have a full-time job, and I'm doing a side hustle at the same time. And I'm going I'm trying to finish up my education at the same time. And I was you think I'm busy now. I was very busy back then. And I was taking this. I had to take a women in literature course, which is very much the humanities, very much feminist, very much so. I actually enjoyed that course because it's kind of like know your enemy, know what this is how feminists think. It's helped me immeasurably as a writer and as understanding how when they talk about intersectional feminism, when Brie Larson starts talking about that on International Women's Day, and Miss Marvel is about to come out, and she starts talking about intersectional feminism. I have a frame of reference. I've already studied that in college, and I know what you're going to say. I resisted the hive mind at that, but it was good that I took those classes, right? And I quite enjoyed myself because we had some really heated discussions in there. Because I'm first of all, I'm the only dude in the class besides one homosexual guy. I'm the only heterosexual guy, married, with kid, working, busting my ass, and I'm taking this class because it satisfies a humanities, it satisfies a cultural diversity, and then a Western tradition or whatever, like the requirements for. It satisfied 3 different requirements. And when you are going to night school and you're trying to finish up your degree, you will take the most efficient classes you possibly can. So I'm taking women in literature because it satisfies all of those requirements. There's only one other class at the time that satisfied those requirements. You know what it was? Holocaust studies. That's what it was. That's how seriously, that's the comparison that they want to say, that women have suffered so much that these classes are equitable. Holocaust studies and women in literature. They both satisfy the exact same requirements in college. And I was, even then, I was not the same Earl Tomasi then that I am right now. And even then I was like raising an eyebrow, like, really? That's how serious they think the equitability of women's sort of victimhood over the course of the millennia. Let my people go, right? And it will always be useful because, and I'll finish with this, feminism has never been about equality. It's only ever been about retribution and restitution for perceived wrongs over the course of thousands and thousands of years. We were your property. We could have known businesses and go to school and do all the things we wanted to do. Well, women today think that women back in, turn of the century or the 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, they think that they would think exactly like they do right now. Those ladies, God, they would all want to have OnlyFans right now. But the long and the short of it is that, so feminism has never been based on equality. It's always been based on retribution and restitution. That's why to achieve equality, and this is a tenet of militant feminism of the early 70s is that to achieve equality, they had to actively disadvantage men to achieve equality. And really they didn't. All they needed was the pill. But that's one thing. The other thing is this, is that feminism is also fundamentally based on a paradox, on cognitive dissonance, right? Because that, and it's two fallacies, okay? The first fallacy is that women are victims and that they are oppressed and that they are historically been, property and chains. They're victims, basically. You want to know why the victimization and victimology is so pervasive for women, so seductive. It's that you can sell lots of products based on female victimhood. The reason for that is because feminism teaches women that they are not only are they victims, but they're also superheroes. They can do anything. So victim of endemic systemic sexism and patriarchy, and also Captain Marvel. They can do anything. What is it? When Beyonce is there, she's got a big old feminist, glowing sign in the back of her when she's at the Oscars or the Grammys or whatever it is. And I'm a superhero, who runs this world? Women, like that superhero kind of mentality. So you're simultaneously, people ask me, hey, Rollo, can you talk about can you give a message to women today? Ladies, if you're watching this today, if you're watching the rerun of this today, whatever, if you're in the live audience right now, you're being sold on a paradox. You're being sold on cognitive dissonance. You are simultaneously a victim, but you are also at the same time, you're Miss Marvel. You're Captain Marvel. You're a superhero. You can do anything. You could be an astronaut. You can be on OnlyFans and still have a husband. You can still have babies and be the CFO of a major American corporation. You can have it all. You're a superhero. You're a woman of the day. You don't need no man. You want a man, but you're independent. You're strong and independent. You're a superhero. Everything's in your advantage. You go out there and kick ass, girl. But you're also a victim. Watch out, because you can't go walk across a dark parking lot at night because, we're going to fear for our lives. I heard that over the weekend too. Well, what is it? Are you a superhero or are you a victim? That's what's being sold to you. And by the way, it's not just now. It's not just the globalists or the Illuminati. This has been going on since mid 60s, probably, at least as a sort of a cultural narrative anyways, probably even before that. But it didn't become popularized until after the sexual revolution. So ladies, this is the ladies' lesson of today's pod class. Okay. You are simultaneously being told that you are a victim and that you're also a superhero. So you got to sort that out for yourself. You got to decide, because one of those does not fit with the other. One of these is different from the other.